the light is coming in a certain way, and I wanted to try something out because I wanted for you to see how the light hits the watch. Now, it's not always good to see if it is that good, but you might see it there. I don't know if that's the sapphire crystal that's playing with the light, but when you're wearing it, it looks very, very good. It's slightly different to the normal full metals that have a hardlex crystal. On the MRG, you have a sapphire crystal, and it seems to have this slightly different hue. It looks a little different, and I don't know if you can see it in the light. And I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly. If I pull in a normal full metal, well, with the hardlex, you can see there is a reflection through the crystal that is different to the MRG because it has a sapphire crystal. And I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. It might be a bluish hue that the sapphire crystal has, but there is a subtle difference. Anyway, I really like it. But also on the MRG, what I've noticed is that the red line, I think I've mentioned this on another video, it slightly shimmers. It's almost like it's slightly reflective. I don't know if I've managed to capture that on camera. Maybe I haven't. Let me try with the silver one. Yeah, I might just be showing it there. But in the light, as you're walking around with the MRG, the red line, maybe it has some reflective properties. And if you see here on the TFC, it doesn't reflect like the red line on the MRG. It still looks absolutely fantastic, but it doesn't reflect the same. Ah, there you go. I think you can see just there. Now, if I offer this up at the same time, maybe we can get that comparison. I don't know if you are seeing the slightly shiny difference to the red line on the MRG, but it is there. I mean, it's very, very pleasant. I mean, that they're both incredibly, they look very good. And the one thing that I like very much on the full metal TFC is the blue text in the left corner, where on the MRG you just have MRG. And I must admit, I do like that blue text there. And I love the original red line detail. It is super. And yeah, but I wanted to show you this slightly reflective red line detail on the MRG. I mean, in their advertising literature, I suppose they'd never mentioned things like that. The construction is very different because of the materials, and the sapphire glass is something that's very different to the normal full metal hardlex crystal, which is a synthetic glass. I mean, I'm sure it's incredibly hard and there's nothing to worry about at all. I think the MRG, because it's such a high-end model, they've wanted to max out on the materials and give you the very best. Plus, these screws here are actually individual screws on the full metal. They're not actually screws; they're little dimples. So they are like cast into the case. But on the MRG, the visual detail here of the screw, it's actually a screw. And if you can see on the bracelet, the other end of the screw does come through. So yeah, I mean, they've really thought and over-engineered everything on the MRG. And I suppose being the flagship, they've wanted to create a product that really is the the very top in terms of build quality and materials, and this certainly is. And yeah, I received a message actually from someone saying that they really liked the silver MRG, and I think they indicated it was the one that they wore, and that's exactly what I have found. This is it's the MRG that I've worn the most, because it matches well. It seems to match everything, but in actual fact the black matches everything also. So I suppose it's just down to preference. And the one I looked at first was the silver one, actually, was the one I was wearing. And but then I did look at the black DLC and gold, and I thought, hold on, that's really, super duper. I mean, it really does look, different and unique. And I keep thinking, you're going to a meeting, or you're going to work, or you're even driving, for work. What is it that you put on your wrist? And the actual, because this has a stopwatch and a timer, and an alarm, I use the stopwatch all the time, and I use the timer all the time for cooking. And when I don't have a timer function on my watch, in actual fact, I think all the watches I do wear, they all have stopwatches on. But whatever I'm wearing, if using the stopwatch function isn't easy, I must admit that is one of the reasons why I might not wear that watch. So, I suppose I am a person that actually uses the utility of these watches, and I do use their functions. And oh, see that's interesting. When I put my hand here and block the light, it makes it look a little different there, and then the light comes in, and once again looks different. I suppose, yeah, I'm always looking at these two, thinking, which do I prefer? The white lettering on the TFC does give it that sporty, stand-out feel. I must admit, I quite like it, but it definitely makes it look more sporty, more less dressy. And I suppose the MRG lends itself to a smarter look, which I suppose that's what it's trying to do anyway. So it's good that we have these differences, because if you're a collector or you like these things, you've got such a great choice to choose from. And yeah, I'm just seeing if the MRG reflection is visible, and I think it is. I think you can just tell there that the red line on the MRG is reflective. Anyway, maybe I'm seeing things, but I don't think so. And I thought I'd point that out because I haven't heard anyone mention it, and I thought it looked absolutely cool. And if you are into these things, I imagine that that this sort of detail is the business case for buying them. Because it is a bit of a strange hobby, buying wristwatches and collecting them. But they are very cool. I mean, they are super things, really. And you could be into lots of other weird things. So wristwatches is totally cool, and they have purpose, and they're jolly useful, especially for cooking. Anyway, I hope I've been able to show you the shimmering red line on the MRG. Yeah, once again, I don't know if it is the sapphire crystal glass or they've actually printed it, engineered it that way, but it does look absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to say ciao for now, and I hope everybody is well.